Hey guys, Cat72. Hope everyone's doing well. Today I have another video pertaining to the Kia. This time, guys, we're going to focus on replacing the horn. The reason why I'll demonstrate in a minute is that the horn that this is original factory, and it just doesn't sound good at all. But this product here is called SYOAUTO. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. They're snail horns, basically meaning they're in the shape of a snail shell. I'll show you here in a minute once we open it up. Some of the tools you're going to need, just basics. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver, a little pry bar, or something that has a little curvature on the end of it, just like this. I'll show you why in a minute. And then a adjustable wrench. Now, the reason why you need this particular tool is because on the Kia and most modern cars nowadays, you're going to have these imitation screws that look like metal, but they're not. They're plastic. Well, the way these work is you only unscrew them so far, and they only come out to a certain extent, and then somehow you got to get something in there and pry it. And when you pry it and pull it up, sometimes you can just use your fingers. I'll show you here in a minute. When you pry it up, there you go. It's just a grommet that pops out, and as you screw it in, these expand. So that's where this will come in handy. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead, or I'm gonna go ahead and start taking the rest of these off, just to make the video a little shorter, and that way you can follow up once this cover plate is off. But for now, let me show you what the horn sounds like, and then after that I'll show you what's in the box. But I just want you to hear what this sounds like. This is the factory horn. Okay guys, it took me a while to get this camera mounted, but anyway, let me go ahead and demonstrate what the horn sounds like. That way we can have a before and after. So as you can hear, guys, it's not the greatest sounding horn. There's been a few incidences where I've really needed to use it, and I've really had to force pressure on the horn inside to get it to trigger. So I just feel it's going faulty. So just to be safe, on the safe side, I'm gonna go with some much louder horns, as well as it's gonna be dual horns instead of single, so that's gonna make it a lot more louder. So anyway, at this point, let me go ahead and go over what's in the box at this point. Okay guys, a couple of key points I want to mention with this is what I liked is, one, if you read here real quick, it'll mention that for two stock horns, you just need to connect your stock horns directly into these. If you have a single, which is in my case, you'll have two stock horns with plugs, with 4 plugs, and I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. But more importantly, what I like is the horns are no polarity, meaning you can connect them any way. It's not going to matter. There's no polarity on them. So anyway, that's just the instructions they give you on the box. Here's what they have to say about it, the brand. And I'll put the link in the description, guys, for you. Anyway, inside the box, you're going to get your 2 horns. And this is what I mean by snail horn. It just kind of resembles the shape of a snail. All right, there's your polarities. Again, there's no positive, negative, negative, positive. It doesn't matter how you hook them up. They're still going to function. So you get your 2 horns. And what I like about these is they already come pre-wired. And the connections already are set up for you, so it's going to be a pretty easy installation. Along with the 2 horns, you're going to get your mounting bracket. Two extra wires, because in my case I'm going to need them to connect the second horn, since my vehicle only has 1 horn. That's pretty cool. And then you're going to get your locking nuts and the extendable bracket arm. There's 2 of them in here. It looks like 1, but there's 2. Anyway, let me go ahead and continue on with the video. We'll come back once I got everything off and we're ready to actually replace the horn. Shouldn't take too long, guys, and the result should be significantly a louder horn. So, all right, let's continue. Okay guys, once we got the cover plate off, it'll expose the factory horn, which is right here, and you can already see that it's pretty used up. I mean, it could be defective, and that's what's causing the horn to not function properly, and it doesn't seem to be as loud as it used to be. One thing you will need to take note of is that in order to connect the new horns, you're unfortunately going to have to snip these off. That's your positive and negative. So if you're concerned about factory warranties, keep that in mind. For me, I'm not concerned. The vehicle's already paid for. I basically own it outright, so I'm just going to go ahead and snip this off. I'm not concerned about warranties. Also too, I already loosened up the bracket bolt here. I still got to figure out how I'm gonna mount this, since I'm gonna do two horns. So let me see how I'm gonna figure that out, and I'll come back once I got it figured out. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and take this whole assembly off and disconnect the cable, and we'll come right back once I got that done, and we'll figure out how we're gonna fit both of these horns in here. All right. Okay guys, after trying to figure out how I was going to make both horns work with the space that I'm given, and also taking into consideration the cover that goes on top and it being able to lay flush while the two horns are installed, let me get this on here real quick. There you go. As you can see, it's snug, and the other horn's going to go here. And the reason why I wanted to stop this and show you this real quick is because I will have to modify a small little thing here. This is some sort of a bracket. It's not even a bracket, it's really more of a brace that holds the radiator, but this little piece right here would have to come off, this little corner. And as you can see, it's not really a solid bracket, it's real flimsy. See, it's just like a thin piece of plastic. So I'm just gonna cut that into a square, and then what will happen is this horn, the second horn, will fall right into place, and it'll drop down enough to give the cover the ability to lay flat without this part of the horn obstructing it. And as well, I'll be using that screw to mount the second bracket to hold it in place, and then we should be good. Another thing I want to point out, guys, is make sure when you install these that the horn is facing downward. If it's in the up position or at an angle, whenever you wash the vehicle or if it rains, you'll definitely get liquid or water inside the horn. You don't want that. So anyway, let's continue on. I'm going to go ahead and get them installed. And also too, don't forget that we need to snip the factory harness for positive and negative, and mount our two, or I should say connect our two connectors for the polarity. And again, keep in mind, it doesn't matter if it's positive, negative, negative, positive has no effect. So then basically these two will be running off of the factory harness onto the horn, and then from here it'll daisy chain over to the second horn, and then we should be good. All right guys, let's continue on. Okay guys, and here you go. This is the final setup where they're going to be and how they're mounted. And as you can see, by cutting that little piece of plastic I mentioned, it fit perfect, and it'll still allow the cover to go on there nice and the way it's supposed to. And then as you can see, we went ahead and connected these with some water sealed solder connectors, and yeah, we're good. So now let me put it all back together, and then we'll go ahead and blast the horn and see if it made any bit of a difference. All right. Okay guys, now that we got everything put back together, let's go ahead and sound the horn off and see how it sounds. Well, I don't know if the video does it any justice with sound, but it's definitely a lot louder, and I don't have to press as hard on the steering wheel horn for it to activate. So I'm glad I did this. It was in need of replacement, and I'm glad I took care of it before it totally went out. So guys, I hope that helps you all out in case you're having a horn that's faulty or acting up or just simply doesn't sound as loud as it used to. You might find this video helpful. As always, I appreciate you stopping by, and until the next one, peace out guys. Stay safe.